panoramic terrace of a luxury restaurant. A young 26-year-old secretary sits nervously at an elegant table. She has just spent her last $500 to rent a fake boyfriend for an important dinner. The man who arrives is perfect, tall, elegant, fascinating. "Hello, Sophia," he says, smiling. "I'm Alexander, your boyfriend for tonight." Sophia hands him an envelope with the money, but he rejects it. "I can't accept it. Why?" "It's our agreement." Alexander looks into her eyes. "Why?" "Because I'm the CEO of the company where you work." Sophia turns pale. She has just hired her boss as a fake boyfriend. What happens next will change their lives forever. Sophia Martin, 26 years old, works as a secretary at Henderson Industries, a multinational company headquartered in the Manhattan skyscrapers in New York. She earns $200 a month. She lives in a 350-square-foot studio in Queens, and every night counts coins to make ends meet. But Sophia has an even bigger problem than poverty. Her older sister, Carmen. Carmen, 30 years old, is married to a wealthy lawyer. She lives in a $2 million house and never misses an opportunity to humiliate Sophia. "Little sister," she says on the phone, "tomorrow night is the dinner for my wedding anniversary. I hope you finally bring someone presentable." Sophia feels her stomach tighten. For 3 years, every family event has been torture. All the relatives have rich and important husbands, while Sophia is always alone. "Carmen, you know I don't have anyone right now." At 26, Sophia, it's embarrassing. "What will our friends say?" "I don't care what they think. I do. You're a Martin. You represent the family. You can't keep playing the role of the spinster." Poor Sophia hangs up the call with tears in her eyes. That night, desperate, she searches Google for boyfriend rental NYC. She finds a website, upscale escorts for special events. The cost, $500 for one night. Sophia looks at her bank account. $547 is all she has. But the humiliation of showing up alone to dinner again pushes her to make a crazy decision. She chooses Alexander H's profile, 32 years old, businessman, elegant, perfect. She writes a message. "I need a companion for a family dinner tomorrow night. $500. The response arrives in 10 minutes. Perfect. Let's meet at the rooftop restaurant at 8 p.m. I'll be your perfect boyfriend." Sophia still doesn't know she's about to commit the most embarrassing mistake of her life. The next day, Sophia leaves work at 6 p.m. to prepare for the most important dinner of her life. She has bought a blue dress with her last $50. She has borrowed a purse from her roommate and used all the makeup tricks she knows. She must look like a successful woman with a perfect boyfriend. At 8 p.m. sharp, she arrives at the rooftop, a luxury venue on the 40th floor with panoramic views over Manhattan. She's nervous, has sweaty hands, and mentally rehearses the story she's invented. Alexander is a businessman in the tech sector. "We met at a conference. We've been together for 6 months." Carmen and her husband Robert are already seated at the table with other relatives. "Sophia!" screams Carmen. "Finally, where is this mysterious boyfriend?" "He's coming," Sophia stammers. At 8:15, a tall and fascinating man approaches the table. He's perfect. Brown hair, blue eyes, dark gray suit that costs more than Sophia's annual salary. "Hello, Sophia," he says, smiling. "Sorry for the delay." Sophia is left speechless. He's even more handsome in person. "Hello, Alexander," she responds nervously. The man greets everyone with ease. He introduces himself as Alexander Henderson, businessman, and immediately conquers the family. During dinner, Sophia is increasingly impressed. Alexander talks about international travel, investments, art. He really seems like a successful man. Carmen is ecstatic. "Sophia, you finally found someone at your level." But toward the end of dinner, Sophia notices something strange. Alexander seems to know too many details about her work life. "How do you know I work at Henderson Industries?" she whispers. Alexander smiles mysteriously. "I told you I'm in the business sector." When dinner ends, Sophia takes out the envelope with the $500. "Here's the agreed payment," she says quietly. Alexander looks at the envelope and shakes his head. "I can't accept it. Why?" "It's our agreement." Alexander looks into her eyes with a serious expression. "Because, Sophia, I am Alexander Henderson, the CEO of Henderson Industries." Sophia feels the world collapse beneath her feet. She has just hired her boss as a fake boyfriend. Sophia remains paralyzed for long seconds, staring at Alexander with shocked eyes. You're my boss, she whispers. Yes, and you're the secretary from the administrative department I had never noticed before. Sophia feels her cheeks burn. But how? Why did you accept? Alexander smiles. Curiosity. When I received your request, I checked the name. Sophia Martin, employee of my company. I had to discover why one of my secretaries was renting a boyfriend. My God, sighs Sophia. Monday morning you'll fire me. Why should I? Because it's embarrassing. I hired my boss as an escort. Alexander laughs. Sophia, it's been the most fun night I've had in years. Fun? I'm mortified. You shouldn't be. Your sister is terrible. Your relatives are snobs, and you handled everything perfectly. Sophia looks at him incredulously. Are you joking? No. And now I understand why you needed a fake boyfriend. As they walk toward the restaurant exit, Alexander stops Sophia. Can I ask you something? What? Why have you never spoken to me at work? Sophia looks down. Because you're the multimillionaire CEO and I'm a secretary who earns $200 a month. We live in different worlds. Sophia, do you really think money defines a person's worth? I don't think so. The world thinks so. Alexander looks at her with a sweet expression. The world is wrong. That night Sophia can't sleep. She has discovered that her boss is kind, funny, human, but above all, she has noticed how he looked at her during dinner. Not like a boss looks at an employee, but like a man looks at a woman he likes. Monday morning, Sophia arrives at the office terrified. How will she be able to look Alexander in the eyes after what happened? But what she discovers leaves her speechless. Are you enjoying this story? Leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Now let's continue with the video. Monday morning, Sophia enters the office with her heart beating uncontrollably. She has spent the weekend imagining terrible scenarios. Firing, humiliation in front of colleagues, transfer to another department. But when she arrives at her desk, she finds something unexpected. A bouquet of white flowers with a note. Thank you for the most interesting night in recent years. A.H. Sophia looks around nervously. Her colleagues don't seem to have noticed anything. At 10 a.m., Alexander's assistant approaches her desk. Sophia, Mr. Henderson wants to see you in his office. Sophia's heart stops beating. Here's the moment she feared. She goes up to the 45th floor. She knocks on the door of the most luxurious office in the building. Come in. Alexander is sitting behind a mahogany desk worth more than Sophia's apartment. He's wearing a dark blue suit, has perfectly styled hair, and is even more handsome than she remembered. Sit down, Sophia. Sophia sits trembling. Alexander. Mr. Henderson, I know what happened is inappropriate. Sophia, stop. Alexander gets up and approaches the panoramic window overlooking Manhattan. Last night I reflected a lot about us. About us? Yes, about what happened. About what I felt. Sophia swallows nervously. What did you feel? Alexander turns around. That for the first time in years I felt like myself. Not the CEO, not the multimillionaire. Just Alexander. I don't understand. Sophia, since I inherited this company at 25, every woman I've met only wanted my money. You instead tried to pay me to be with you, Sophia blushes. It's different. Yes, it's different. It's authentic. Alexander sits on the desk in front of her. Sophia, can I ask you to go out with me? For real this time. Not as boss and employee, not as client and escort. As Alexander and Sophia. Sophia thinks she heard wrong. You want to go out with me? Yes, if you accept. But I'm poor, you're rich. I'm a secretary, you're a CEO. So what? Well, people will talk. They'll say I'm a gold digger. Alexander takes Sophia's hands. Sophia, I don't care what people say. I only care what you say. Sophia looks into his blue eyes and sees something she had never seen before. Sincerity. Alexander, if I go out with you, Monday morning everyone will know that the secretary from the 5th floor is with the CEO. So what? Then I have to resign. Alexander smiles. Who said you have to remain a secretary? What do you mean? Asks Sophia, confused. Alexander opens a folder on the desk. Sophia, I've looked at your resume. Bachelor's in economics with honors, MBA in business management, Internships at investment banks. Yes, but then I couldn't find work in my field. Why did you become a secretary? Sophia looks down. Because after 6 months of searching, I ran out of money. I accepted the first job they offered me. Sophia, you're wasting your talent. What do you mean? Alexander stands up. I want to offer you a position in business management, responsible for strategic development. Sophia opens her eyes wide. What salary? $6,000 a month. Sophia faints in the chair. When she recovers, Alexander is giving her a glass of water. Sophia, are you okay? $6,000 a month is impossible. Why impossible? Because it's 5 times what I earn now. So what? You're worth what you're worth. Sophia shakes her head. Alexander? People will think you promoted me because we're together. Sophia, we're not together yet. You still haven't given me an answer. That's true. Sophia realizes she still hasn't responded to his proposal. Alexander, you're the first man who's asked me out without knowing I have only $47 in the bank. Do you really have so little? Sophia blushes. I spent everything for Saturday's dinner. Alexander looks at her tenderly. Sophia, do you want me to accompany you home tonight? So I can see how you really live. That night, Alexander follows Sophia to her studio in Queens. When he enters the 350-square-foot apartment, he's shocked. It's small but tidy, clean, full of books and dreams. This is where I live, says Sophia timidly. It's beautiful. Beautiful? Alexander, your bathroom is bigger than this entire apartment. Yes, but here there's something missing from my penthouse. What? Warmth, humanity, real life. Alexander sits on the small sofa and looks at Sophia. Can I tell you something? Tell me. I have a 10 million penthouse, but it's empty, cold. You come home and only feel silence. You must feel very lonely. Very lonely, until I met you. Sophia feels her heart beat strongly. Alexander, Sophia, my answer is yes. I want to go out with you. And my job proposal is also yes. They kiss for the first time in the small studio, while outside Manhattan lights up with the night lights. But what they don't know is that someone has noticed the CEO leaving with the secretary. A week after the first kiss, Sophia starts her new job as head of strategic development. Office on the 42nd floor, personal assistant, $6,000 salary. But the step from secretary to executive doesn't go unnoticed. Did you hear? Whispers a colleague. Sophia Martin has been promoted by Henderson. The one from the 5th floor? Impossible. Well, yes, now she has an office on the 42nd floor. I think he's sleeping with her. Sophia hears all these whispers and feels uncomfortable. During the first executive meeting, she introduces herself timidly. I'm Sophia Martin, the new head of strategic development. The other executives look at her with skepticism. What's your previous experience? Asks the financial director. I worked 3 years as a secretary here, but I have an MBA in business management. Secretary? The tone is dismissive. Alexander intervenes. Sophia has brilliant ideas for expansion in Europe. Let's listen to her. Sophia presents her project. Open subsidiaries in Germany and France before 2025. The numbers are perfect. The analysis impeccable. At the end of the presentation, everyone applauds. Congratulations, Ms. Martin, says the financial director. The project is excellent. Sophia smiles proudly. After the meeting, Alexander calls her to his office. You were fantastic. Thanks, but I heard what they say about me. What do they say? That I was promoted because we're together. Alexander gets serious. Sophia, this bothers me. Me more. Do you want us to make our relationship public? Sophia thinks about it. If we do, everyone will think we're confirming the gossip. And if we don't, we'll keep hiding. Alexander takes her hands. Sophia, I'm not ashamed of you. Are you ashamed of me? No, but I'm afraid. Of what? That when people know, they'll treat me differently. Like the boss's girlfriend, not like a professional. Alexander understands her concern. Sophia, let's do something. Let's wait for your work results to speak for you. When everyone sees you're good, we can be an official couple. Sophia nods. Seems fair to me. But what they don't know is that Carmen, Sophia's sister, has already discovered everything and isn't happy. 2 months later, Sophia has proven to be an exceptional executive. The European expansion project has been approved by the board of directors. The business press defines her as the young manager of the year. Everyone in the company respects her skills. But one night, while Sophia and Alexander are dining at his penthouse, an unexpected visitor arrives. Sophia. Carmen bursts into the living room. "We need to talk. Carmen, how did you get in?" "I told the butler I'm your sister." "Is it true you're with Alexander Henderson?" Sophia looks at Alexander, who nods encouragingly. "Yes, it's true. I can't believe it. My sister is with one of the richest men in America." "Carmen, it's not what you think." "What do I think?" "I think you've finally done something intelligent." Alexander intervenes. "Excuse me, but you're Carmen Martin, Sophia's sister, the one who made us meet." Sophia blushes. "Carmen, wasn't that right?" "How not? If it hadn't been for my dinner, you never would have met." Alexander smiles. "She's right. We owe her a thank you." Carmen is on cloud 9. "When do you announce the official courtship?" Sophia and Alexander look at each other. "Carmen," says Sophia, "Alexander and I have been together for 2 months. We're not rushing, but what are you waiting for? He's perfect." That night, after Carmen leaves, Sophia and Alexander stay in the garden. "Your family is particular," says Alexander. "I know, I'm sorry." "Sophia, can I ask you something?" "Tell me." "Do you love me for who I am or for what I have?" Sophia looks at him surprised. "Alexander, how can you ask me this?" "Because every woman I've met loved me for the money." Sophia takes his hands. "Alexander, I already loved you when I thought you were a $500 escort. During that dinner, I fell in love with how you talked, how you smiled, how you looked at me. I didn't even know who you really were." Alexander kisses her. "I also fell in love with a woman who had the courage to spend her last dollars for dignity." "Alexander, can I tell you something?" "Everything. I don't care what people think. I want everyone to know we're together." Alexander smiles. "Are you sure?" "Very sure. I'm proud to love you." The next day, Sophia and Alexander arrive at the office together holding hands. Everyone looks at them, but Sophia no longer hides. At 10 a.m., Alexander calls a general meeting. "I have an important announcement to make. Sophia Martin and I are together. I know some of you will think this influences work decisions. You're wrong. Sophia has been promoted on merit and will continue growing on merit." After the meeting, colleagues approach Sophia to congratulate her. "You're a beautiful couple," says the financial director. "And you're really good at your job," adds another executive. That night, Sophia and Alexander dine on the penthouse terrace with Manhattan illuminated below them. "Are you happy?" asks Alexander. "Very happy. I have the job of my dreams and the man of my life." "Sophia, there's one last thing I want to ask you." Alexander kneels and takes out a ring with a 5-carat diamond. "Sophia Martin, will you marry me?" Sophia starts crying. Yes, yes, yes. They kiss under the stars, aware that everything started with a $500 lie. But true love has transformed that lie into the most beautiful story of their lives. Because sometimes modern fairy tales begin in the most unexpected ways. And when two hearts meet, it doesn't matter where they come from, only where they want to go together. If this story has moved you, if you believe love can be born from the most absurd situations, leave a heart down below. I want to hear from you. Have you ever done something crazy for love? Do you believe social differences can be overcome by true love? What has been the biggest lie you've told to look good? If this story has touched your heart, like if you believe true love knows no class differences, subscribe for stories that will make you believe in modern fairy tales. Share with someone who needs hope and love. Comment "Love conquers all" if you also believe the heart always chooses well. Remember, sometimes the greatest loves are born from the most embarrassing situations. And when two souls recognize each other, it doesn't matter how different their worlds are. See you in the next video with another story that will show you love always knows how to surprise. I love you, romantic dreamers.